Cleopatra's secret has been revealed, and you need to know. The famous Queen of Egypt, known for her beauty and extraordinary intelligence, held many more mysteries than history books usually tell. Today, you will learn the reality and all the secrets of one of the most legendary figures in the world. Are you curious? Join us and let's go. Number 16. The controversy surrounding Cleopatra's death. Cleopatra's death remains one of the most enigmatic and controversial events in ancient history. While the traditional narrative claims that the queen poisoned herself using a venomous snake, there are many doubts and alternative theories about the exact circumstances of her death. Some scholars question whether a snake actually killed her, suggesting that she may have used poison or even suffocated herself. Others argue that Cleopatra may have been attacked at the behest of Octavian, Caesar's heir, who wanted to get rid of her in order to consolidate his control over Egypt. Still, others believe they have faked her own death to avoid being captured and taken to Rome as a prisoner. Her enemies had reasons to want to eliminate her, and she herself had reasons to prefer death to the humiliation of surrender. Thus, the lack of concrete evidence about the exact circumstances of her death fuels speculation and theories that continue to shock historians and the general public to this day. Number 15. Cleopatra's multiple identities. In addition to her identity as Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra also claimed other titles and roles that further distinguished her. She presented herself as the living reincarnation of the goddess Isis, the most important female deity in ancient Egypt. Cleopatra believed that her connection with Isis gave her divine powers and legitimacy as a sovereign. She also called herself Sister of Osiris and Mother of the Gods, reinforcing her connection to the Egyptian pantheon. In addition, she also adopted titles such as Queen of Queens and Queen of Upper and Lower Egypt, demonstrating her superior position even in relation to other rulers. These multiple identities and self-designations served to emphasize Cleopatra's elevated status and her connection to the supernatural forces that dominated the imagination of the Egyptian people. At the same time, this self-proclamation as a quasi-divine figure also fed the mythical and enigmatic image that surrounded the queen. Number 14. The true face of beauty. Cleopatra's physical appearance remains one of the greatest mysteries of antiquity. While Hollywood portrays her as a stunning seductress and the Roman historian Cassius Dio described her as possessing astonishing beauty, but the historical evidence is intriguingly contradictory. The main clues to her appearance come from ancient coins that depict her in profile, showing a woman with a prominent nose and a defined chin. These coins, produced in different locations and by different artists, maintain a remarkable consistency in their details, suggesting that they were based on an authentic official portrait. However, it is important to remember that Egyptian artists often idealize their depictions of the pharaohs, as they did with other aspects of royal art. Modern facial reconstruction studies, based on archaeological and historical evidence, suggest a more nuanced appearance than the glamorous Hollywood depictions, presenting a woman with strong, striking features, combining Mediterranean and North African features. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 13. The legendary encounter with Caesar. The first meeting between Cleopatra and Julius Caesar is worthy of a movie script. In 48 BC, when Caesar arrived in Egypt in pursuit of his rival Pompey, Cleopatra was barred from the royal palace due to conflicts with her brother Ptolemy XIII. Determined to meet the Roman leader, she devised an audacious plan. She ordered a servant to wrap her in a luxurious carpet and smuggle her into Caesar's chambers. When the carpet was unrolled, revealing the majestic presence of the Egyptian queen, Caesar was immediately enchanted. This encounter not only sealed a crucial political alliance, but also began a relationship that would change the course of ancient history. Cleopatra's bold strategy demonstrated her political cunning and ability to turn seemingly impossible situations into opportunities for conquest. Number 12. The Master of Languages. Cleopatra's intellectual prowess extended far beyond politics. As a member of the Ptolemaic dynasty, she received an exceptional education that covered everything from astronomy to chemistry, medicine, and international relations. Her greatest achievement, however, was her impressive command of languages. She was the only ruler of her dynasty who could communicate in ancient Egyptian, as well as in classical Greek, Parthian, Hebrew, Syriac, Ethiopic, and Arabic. This extraordinary ability allowed her to communicate directly with her subjects and foreign diplomats without intermediaries, something revolutionary for the time. In public audiences, her voice was described as melodious and captivating, capable of enchanting any listener. In addition, Cleopatra devoted hours to research in her private laboratory, where she studied medicinal herbs and developed advanced cosmetic formulas. Tragically, much of her scientific work was lost in the fire of the Library of Alexandria in 48 AD, depriving humanity of potentially valuable knowledge about ancient medicine and cosmetology. Number 11. The mysterious tunnel. A recent discovery at Taposiris Magna has brought new hope to the search for Cleopatra's tomb. Archaeologists have discovered an underground tunnel described as a geometric miracle that is submerged and located near an area believed to have once been a temple to the queen. Although the chances of finding the remains of Cleopatra and Mark Antony at this site are diminishing, the discovery has opened up new possibilities for understanding the architecture and engineering of the Ptolemaic period. The tunnel, with its complex structure and strategic location, continues to intrigue researchers and fuel theories about the yet untold secrets of Cleopatra's reign. Number 10. The plot of royal weddings. Cleopatra's marital life reveals one of the most controversial aspects of ancient Egyptian royalty. Following tradition and the last will of her father, Ptolemy XII, she was forced to marry her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, when she was 18 and he was only 10. This union, although shocking by today's standards, was common among ancient Egyptian royalty, seen as a way to maintain the purity of the royal line. The marriage, however, was marked by intense power struggles, culminating in a civil war that divided Egypt. After the death of Ptolemy XIII, Cleopatra married another brother, Ptolemy XIV, then 12 years old. These unions, predominantly political, were part of a complex web of alliances and maneuvers to maintain control over the Egyptian throne. The tragic fate of her brother husbands, who died in mysterious circumstances, fueled rumors about Cleopatra's role in these events. Number 9. The secrets of night parties. In the privacy of the royal palace, Cleopatra revealed a completely different side to the majestic queen everyone knew. When she was not busy making crucial political decisions or defending her throne from enemies, she indulged in extravagant parties that lasted all night. In 41 BC, after beginning her affair with Mark Antony, the queen founded an exclusive society called the Inimitable Drinkers. This select group of Egyptian and Roman nobles would gather for grand celebrations, filled with plenty of wine and unbridled fun. During these nights, Cleopatra would abandon her royal robes, disguise herself as a slave, and together with her companions, roam the streets of Alexandria, playing pranks on unsuspecting citizens. The members of the Egyptian royal family did not look kindly on this behavior, but that never stopped the queen from continuing her nocturnal adventures. Number 8. The secret son of the empire. During her relationship with Julius Caesar, Cleopatra gave birth to a son, Caesarion, whose birth shook both the Egyptian and Roman worlds. The boy, considered illegitimate by Rome because of laws that prohibited marriage between Romans and foreigners, represented a potential threat to Roman power. Cleopatra, however, saw in him the perfect embodiment of the union between Egypt and Rome and dedicated herself to preparing him to rule an empire that would unite the two greatest powers of the ancient world. The young prince received an exceptional education, learning several languages and being instructed in the arts of government, both Egyptian and Roman. His existence became a point of tension in the political relations of the time, especially after Caesar's death, when Cleopatra tried to establish him as his father's legitimate heir, openly challenging the power of Rome. Number 7. The Perfume Factory. In ancient Alexandria, Cleopatra established an extraordinary laboratory dedicated to the production of exclusive fragrances. More than just a perfumery, this place was a true research center, where the queen experimented with different plants and herbs to create unique aromas. One of the most famous episodes involving her perfumes occurred during her first meeting with Mark Antony. She ordered that the sails of her ship be soaked in a special fragrance, creating an unforgettable sensorial atmosphere. The remains of this ancient factory can still be found today near the Dead Sea, near Engaddi. Archaeologists have discovered that the site also functioned as a spa, offering beauty treatments elaborated with the queen's own formulas. The perfume production techniques developed in her laboratory were so advanced that some of them influenced modern perfumery, especially the methods of extracting and blending natural essences. Number 6. True ancestry. Cleopatra's ethnic origins remain one of the most debated topics in ancient history, especially after the Netflix series Queen Cleopatra in 2023. Born in Alexandria in 69 BC, she belonged to the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greco-Macedonian lineage that had ruled Egypt since the conquest of Alexander the Great. Her father, Ptolemy XII, was of proven Greek descent, but the identity of her mother, Cleopatra Feth Tryphena, remains shrouded in mystery. Some historians argue that she was of Egyptian descent. Others maintain that she had Macedonian blood, and there are even theories about possible connections to Nubia, the region that now comprises Sudan. The Ptolemaic dynasty practiced intermarriage for generations, resulting in a lineage that possibly included Persian, Syrian, and Egyptian ancestors. This unique mix of cultures and ethnicities makes Cleopatra's true ancestry a mystery that continues to intrigue researchers to this day. Number 5. Revolutionary beauty rituals. Cleopatra's beauty regimens were as extraordinary as her personality. Beyond the milk baths that made her famous, she developed an extensive repertoire of cosmetic practices, many of which continue to influence the beauty industry today. Her regimen included a sophisticated blend of natural ingredients: honey as an antibacterial agent, apple cider vinegar for toning, and a paste of chalk and oil for facial cleansing. To treat blemishes, she used a unique combination of ginger, antimony, and calamine. Her skincare regimen extended beyond her face. She created body scrubs using sea salt and essential oils, and developed hair dyes using juniper berries and exotic plants that modern botanists have yet to identify. Her moisturizing routine included long baths in a mixture of milk and olive oil, a treatment that, according to historical records, left her skin with an incomparable glow. For her nails, she created a natural henna-based polish, producing a distinctive reddish hue that became a symbol of royalty. Number 4. The rivalry between sisters. The little-known story of Arsinoe IV, Cleopatra's younger sister, reveals a dramatic chapter of treachery and ambition. During the Egyptian civil war of 48 BC, Arsinoe allied herself with Ptolemy XIII against Cleopatra, declaring herself a rival pharaoh. Her attempt to seize power culminated in a series of tragic events, including the execution of the general Achilles and a failed attempt to besiege Alexandria. When Roman troops arrived to support Cleopatra, Arsinoe was captured and taken to Rome in chains, where she was displayed as a war trophy. Although Julius Caesar spared her life, condemning her to exile in the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, her ultimate fate was sealed years later when Cleopatra convinced Mark Antony to order her execution. This episode illustrates the brutality of Egyptian dynastic politics and the price of power in ancient times. Number 3. The secrets of real makeup. Cleopatra's famous black eyeliner was not just an aesthetic product, but also a sophisticated medical protection. Researchers have discovered that the makeup included 4 different lead-based materials, creating a barrier against eye infections common in ancient Egypt. During the Nile floods, contaminated water often caused serious eye inflammation among the population. The eyeliner's special formula was toxic to the bacteria that caused these infections, while also exposing its users to the risk of lead poisoning. This knowledge demonstrates how the ancient Egyptians combined beauty and science in their cosmetic practices, developing solutions that were both decorative and functional. Number 2. The Lost Tomb. Cleopatra's final resting place remains one of the greatest archaeological mysteries. Although Octavian granted her dying wish to be buried alongside Mark Antony, the exact location of her tomb has never been found. Ancient Alexandria, where many believe her tomb is located, is now partially submerged in the Mediterranean. Archaeologist Frank Gaudio conducted extensive underwater explorations in the area in the early 2000s, but found no structures linked to the Queen. Some researchers have shifted their focus to the banks of the Nile, theorizing that the tomb may be hidden somewhere underwater in the river. Number 1. The Queen's Treasure. With a fortune estimated at $96 billion in today's dollars, Cleopatra owned one of the largest jewelry collections in antiquity. Her collection included not only gold and precious stone ornaments, but also pieces of profound political and spiritual significance. Each piece of jewelry was carefully chosen not only for its beauty, but also for its symbolic power. Her serpent-shaped bracelet, made of pure gold and studded with precious stones, became an iconic symbol of her authority as pharaoh. Her crowns were works of art, incorporating sacred Egyptian symbols into intricate designs. She used her jewelry strategically in diplomatic negotiations, offering rare pieces as gifts to seal alliances. Her wardrobe included dresses embroidered with pearls and shoes decorated with gems, each piece representing not only luxury, but also political power. Cleopatra's jewelry was not just an accessory, but an instrument of her diplomatic cunning. What legendary figure do you want to see next on the channel? Leave your comment below, suggesting new topics you would like to see here on the channel. Now, take advantage and click on this video that is appearing here on the screen, because I separated it especially for you. Well, that's it, and until next time, curious.